And welcome back.
What up, guys? It's me, Ace.
This is your boy Droid.
And this is Movies for the People.
Indeed it is. Also, this is censored.
Uncensored.
You get like censored, uncensored. Yeah, it's uncensored.
Yeah, censored means something completely different.
It's whatever. I've been dead like whole day. Yeah, you just had like 8 seconds to stop listening before you heard some wild shit. So if you're not gone by now, how you doing? We're doing good. We saw 2 movies this week.
2 of them.
2 movies in theaters.
In theaters. No bim banter.
Doing it big for y'all. Because we love you.
What was the first movie we saw?
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. We actually got a tweet that said, "Droid, can you please stop singing?"
I don't believe that.
It was me. I tweeted.
It's a good thing I'll just disregard all tweets for you from now on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I actually didn't hear what you said because for some reason my headphones turned off for a second. But I assume you said, I'm going to disregard all tweets from you from here on out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
All right.
So what'd you think of Bumblebee?
I liked it. I think that some people out there were pumping it up just a little bit too much.
I think so as well.
I was just, you know what's annoying to me is the fact that, like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect this movie to do very well. Not that I didn't expect it to be that good of a movie, because it's one of those things where, like, people were way too hyped for it, way too far out.
I could see that too, but I had no expectations for it because it is a Transformers movie, so I was like, okay, it's just going to be another Transformers movie. What really put me in disbelief was when I saw that like 95% rating.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yo, is this movie about to be hype? Let me tell you guys something. This is not a 95% rating movie. For a Transformers movie, this is a 95% rating movie. For like a regular movie, it's...
I like Dark Side of the Moon.
I bet you do.
I do. But when we was out there in the desert maxing niggas, Optimus came in with that jetpack fucking shit up. Shit was lit. I don't care what anybody says. Don't come in here with your bullshit. Oh, it's Michael Bay talk either.
It definitely had some dope fight scenes. All the Transformers have pretty cool battles. But as like a whole.
But that's the thing, though, is like everybody complains about the action specifically when they're complaining about Michael Bay. And that's what gets on my nerves.
Well, no, that's just Michael Bay in general. Because that's like his, like how M. Night Shyamalan has twist, Michael Bay has explosions. That's what he does. He's been doing that forever.
Transformers have explosions because motherfuckers are shooting space age technology all over the motherfucking place.
Like, people don't complain that that's what the Transformers are. That's just what Michael Bay does. Even all of his movies that aren't Transformers. Like Ninja Turtles has a bunch of fucking explosions.
I ain't seen Ninja Turtles, so
They're actually pretty good.
maybe one day. There's so much shit.
Johnny Knoxville does a good Leonardo, and I was surprised. Johnny
Knoxville? That's interesting.
And then Thad from Blue Mountain State is Raphael.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, he actually does a good job too.
Yeah, I was going to say, after seeing him in Titans.
Oh, you've been watching Titans?
I only watched like the first 3 episodes, I think.
Oh, you need to catch up.
But like after seeing him, I was like, oh, it's not that. He's a normal guy.
Yeah, he's actually a really good actor.
Pretty good.
He's a really good actor. I think he's got a lot of range.
But Bumblebee, I enjoyed. I thought the acting was good, like all around, which is something that made me happy because we saw a bunch of people who, like, unless you're like watching like real random shit, you're not seeing in role. Like, I still don't know if his name is George or Jorge. It's really annoying.
I'm pretty sure it's Jorge.
Was it Lindenberg is his last name? The guy who's from the Netflix Barry movie, Barack Obama. And I knew it was him immediately because the entire time I was like, oh, it's weird to see him and not hear my fellow Americans in the back of my head.
And if you haven't seen that, then he's also the black kid from Love, Simon, his black best friend.
And if you haven't seen that, then he's also in Spider-Man Homecoming. I think I should tell you where to find him, but like I also think it'd be fun for you to find out on your own.
Yeah. Just so you know, he's like a light-skinned black dude with a big afro. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's like Hispanic and black.
Yeah. Which is why it's probably...
Jorge.
Actually, I have a cousin whose name is George and it's spelled like that.
Niggas do wild shit with names, so I'd believe it. But he looks like a Jorge. I could see him being Jorge. I can't imagine him being like, yeah, my name's George.
What if his name was George and he was just embarrassed? He's like, yeah, my name's Jorge. He just has like an accent speaking normally. Haley Steinfeld, good.
She's actually like, I don't think she's, is she the white Donald Glover?
Why? Because she does music and movies?
And she kills it with both. Like a lot of people, you know, do music and movies and stuff like that, but they don't both kill it with both of those. I'd say actually maybe give her some time. She has to write too. She has to like write some dope stuff.
I mean, she writes music.
Does she? She is a pop star. A lot of pop stars don't write their own music.
I'm pretty sure she does.
She might. I don't know. But
if not, I feel very betrayed by Let Me Go. It's a great song.
I don't know if I've heard it.
You've heard it.
I probably have.
It was like, it was big like a year and a half ago.
But yeah, I think she's the white Donald Glover. I'm gonna give her that for right now.
Interesting.
She's in her like camp.
I was gonna say because she definitely hasn't blown up like Donald Glover.
Give her some time. Give her some time. She's definitely in the camp stage right now. Donald Glover was like doing like his stand up, and then.
So what do you think she's gonna focus more on, music or movies? Right
now, she's killing it with both. She has a song on the radio right now.
I know, but Donald Glover made the decision. So if she's gonna be Donald Glover, she's gonna have to make that decision at some point. What do you think she's gonna stick with?
Whichever one makes her more money.
Yeah.
And looking at the movie she's been getting, she might have to choose acting because Donald Glover started getting that Disney money, and he was like, "Yeah, why do I gotta sing and dance?"
Oh, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I was about to say it.
What are you gonna say?
I'm not gonna say it now.
Say it.
Not.
Just say it.
I'm not gonna say it. Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it. No. Bad A's trying to chorus me into saying mean things. It's not really mean. Honestly, it's like...
Can you just say it? Because I don't know what you're like holding back.
Exactly. Nobody knows.
Just say it. If it's bad, we'll cut it out.
It's not about it being bad.
Because the people want to know.
It's about it being right.
Is it right?
Yes.
Then why don't you just say it?
Because then people are going to bitch. And I don't feel like hearing people bitch today.
Who? Jeff?
Man? Nah, not Jeff. Anybody who's not black.
Oh, anybody who's not black?
Yep.
No, I really don't know what you're going to say.
I was going to be like, well, you're a nigga.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
I know you knew that's what I was going to say.
Like, I wasn't sure. Yeah, niggas do have to sing and dance to make their money.
Yeah.
Does that make Haley Steinfeld a nigga?
Nah. She don't have to do both. I've never seen her dance.
I haven't either.
Maybe she did in Pitch Perfect 3, but I don't know.
I assume she did. Don't they all dance?
Did she dance in Pitch Perfect 2?
Was she in Pitch Perfect 2?
Yeah. She was
she was the new girl, huh?
Yeah.
That was I haven't even seen Pitch Perfect 3. And I know I've seen her in a movie.
It's annoying because I wanted to.
Makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not even really sure what we're talking about anymore. Let's get back to Bumblebee.
We're talking about the realities of life. Anyway, John Cena did good.
John Cena did do good.
Which, I mean, honestly, I didn't expect him to do bad. I just had this idea in my head that, like, and I think a lot of people have this idea that every WWE wrestler, aside from The Rock, can't act just because they're in WWE, which is not the case.
Well, I feel like every WWE wrestler that goes into it usually is quite successful.
Yeah, but like being successful and being a good actor,
but like I mean, like people like love
for WWE people.
Like look at Andre the Giant. People loved Andre the Giant. People love The Rock. People kind of love John Cena.
People love John Cena outside of people love John Cena just for John Cena.
He's new. He's newer. People haven't really got to experience his acting as much.
Right, but I'm saying like John Cena started. What was the series called? It's like a series of WWE movies. They're literally like WWE studios. It's like The Patriot or some shit like that. And there's like 5 of them bitches now. And nobody knows who those other niggas are because they can't act. They're just WWE movies with niggas who is no. So I just have that idea in my head that like if it's a WWE nigga and it's not The Rock, we're not expecting great things. But John Cena, I mean, John Cena's been in other stuff.
Because he actually was really. Did you ever see Trainwreck?
Was that the one you and Khan saw?
No.
With the parents?
No, that was this one was before we even started the podcast.
Okay.
It was Amy Schumer, Bill Hader, LeBron James, and John Cena. John Cena is hilarious in that movie. Yeah, he killed it. I was surprised. Blockers was the one with the parents.
Oh, okay.
He was okay in that. Like I don't think he's a bad actor, but I don't think he's like great. He's just he's an actor. He's there. He does his job, and you don't like hate him or love him. He just does an okay job. You're like, okay, that was a movie.
It's okay. So this just came to mind when you were talking about that. You know what I feel is really weird? What? When people talk about, like, we're sitting here talking about how well people can act, right? Mm-hmm. But they get paid what they get paid for a reason. Like, you can be like, he's just a good actor. But you ain't gonna out act that nigga.
I might. You don't know my acting abilities. I think you could actually out act him.
Thank you.
I think you're a pretty good actor from what I've seen when you like lie.
About what?
I don't know. You're always lying.
I feel so disrespected right now.
Guys, Droid is a liar.
I feel disrespected. You just disrespected my mom. I'm telling my mom to listen to this episode.
I'm just kidding. Droid's not a liar. I don't want no smoke with his mom. She's like a Pokemon master. I don't want smoke in Pokemon Go. I don't want smoke in real life.
Yeah, if anybody wants to, I was specifically told to let everybody I know, if they want that smoke in Pokemon Go, hit my mom up. She's ready and willing to dish out them ass whoopings. So, inbox us. Y'all can exchange that information, and I can stream my mom fucking them niggas on Pokemon Go or something.
That would be a great stream. I'm just imagining the title. I'd click on it. I'm watching my mom fuck people up in Pokemon Go. I'd click on it and just to see what the fuck is going on.
Right.
One thing that I like that this one did that was a very big difference from the rest of the Transformers, especially the first one. There wasn't really a lot of product placement. Yeah. I mean, the first one was ridiculous. And they have Mountain Dew robots and Xbox Transformers running around. That was a little much. This one, not really anything. I mean, a few things, nothing overwhelming.
I mean, if anything, it was the cars. That's pretty much it.
And I mean, they're Transformers. You got to do cars.
Right. But I'm saying even the cars that like the one in her garage. What was that?
I think it was a Corvette. Yeah, it was a Corvette.
Yeah. And then, the Beetle, the Volkswagen, but otherwise not so much.
Yeah. And then the other big thing Transformers always does that this one didn't do was sexualize the female lead.
You know what's really interesting?
What?
There's this weird And it's probably because Transformers has just done this with Shia LaBeouf and the female lead. Is like when you hear female lead, you just think the co-star. No, it's not even just Transformers. Like Hollywood does this shit. Like if you hear female lead, you think co-star. You don't think like the star.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't like a first, but good on Haley Steinfeld for locking that down. Being a good lead.
Yeah, you were a great lead, Haley. Can we just call her Haley?
I don't know.
Do we got the juice like that?
Mrs. Steinfeld? I don't know. I'm not calling her Mrs. Steinfeld because she's younger than me. I don't know.
Is she?
Yeah, she was born in like 96.
Oh, wow.
Got 3 years on you. Not calling you Mrs. anything. You get a first name basis.
I mean, I'd probably call her Miss.
Miss, Mrs. Yeah, Miss.
Miss Steinfeld.
I'm sorry. I just only call people Mr. or Mrs. if they're older than me.
Yeah, I usually do too. I don't really call people Mr.
It's
or
like
Miss
honorifics.
unless they're my teacher.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I'd
Some
be
kind
like,
of elder.
I'd be like, ma'am. Like,
right, yeah, I'll say like ma'am in conversation. Like somebody's like, yeah, yes or no. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Just depends on like if I'm working.
yeah, when I was
I'm
working,
not just gonna
I'd be
like talk to somebody and be like,
like when I was working, I'd be like, hey, can I get you a TV, sir?
Yeah.
How's it going today, ma'am? But yeah, that's probably about it. God, what the fuck are we talking about?
Talking about whether or not we can talk to Haley Steinfeld casually. If she ever even listens to this podcast.
I think we could.
Okay.
I think we could. We're all humans. I think just because she's got some platinum singles and a lead role in a movie.
In a big movie.
In a big movie. And she two big movies in the same month. Within like 3 weeks.
Yeah. She was in the Into the Spider-Verse.
She was a female lead in that. She was just a lead in that.
Fuck. I feel like that's gonna be so weird in my head now. I don't like the term female lead anymore because it just connotates fucking co-star, and that's disrespectful. I
mean, she technically was a co-star in that.
Yeah. But
in this, yeah, it does feel like a co-star, like you're saying. It sounds diminishing.
Exactly. That's fucked.
The lead star in Bumblebee, technically she was the co-star. Bumblebee was.
So are we saying that Dylan O'Brien was the star?
Dylan O'Brien killing it again. Haley Steinfeld getting your place. No. If Dylan O'Brien did the mocap for that, he did a real good job.
Nobody does mocap for Transformers.
They don't?
Those niggas are too agile.
I mean, Dylan O'Brien is pretty agile. I've seen Maze Runner.
So have I.
And I've seen
I'm talking about fighting agile.
You don't know he can't fight.
I'm not saying he can't fight. I'm just saying most human beings can't fight like Transformers can.
I think he can.
I don't know.
But yeah, no sexualization of the leading lady, and yeah, no product placement really. I think I liked all the characters in this.
I like the music.
I did like the music too.
Like this, what's weird about this? What's weird about this movie is that this is an '80s movie made in 2018. But it feels like an 80s movie.
They did a real good job.
There are a lot of movies that are made and it's supposed to take place back then that don't really feel like it, but this like really felt like it.
Mm-hmm. Like this, it really did. I can't think of really anything else.
Is that a spoiler? I didn't know it was taking place in the 80s until they said it was like 1987.
I think you kind of get it from the trailers.
I didn't know until the movie, so I don't know.
I didn't really watch the trailers.
Wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailers that much.
Yeah,
I've kind of gotten away from watching a bunch of trailers because I just feel like
They do too much with trailers.
They do way too much. Like, I was upset when we saw the new trailer for Glass. I was like, I was already sold. Stop.
Glass is different though. I feel like you said, M. Night Shyamalan has his whole twisty thing, and so
he did recently just tweet that what you're seeing in the trailers is not portraying the movie in the way that it is. Which, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe the whole twist is there's no movie at all. We show up and it's just a 2-hour apology for The Last Airbender.
For the what?
God damn it. One day I'm going to get you. One day.
Yeah. All in all, I'd say go see Bumblebee, though. I mean, what is that? Was it?
That's you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all in all, I'd say go see Bumblebee, though. I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah, don't go in there thinking it's like some amazing film.
Don't think it was like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or
I would
Stars
definitely
Born.
recommend going and seeing Spider-Man if you haven't seen that over Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But if you've already seen that, go see Bumblebee because it's definitely the best Transformers movie. We've gotten 2 of the best, like,
Best
of these
Spider-Man
franchises.
movie, best Transformers.
And Haley Steinfeld is in both.
Maybe
I think she's the reason.
maybe she needs to go on the X Factor because she's got it. I knew that was going to be terrible when it came out of my mouth, but I just had to say it.
You know how they said The Rock saves franchises? I think it's her. What should she go into
Maybe
next?
she's like making her way in so that she can get her experience before The Rock makes his way out.
Maybe is she the new Rock?
The Rock and Donald Glover? She's going to be in the Fast 9 beating niggas' asses.
She just drops Vin Diesel.
You're getting old, old man.
But for real, you think Fast and the Furious is the next franchise she should come in and save?
Bro.
I mean, The Rock kind of already saved those.
That would, well, I don't know if that counts because he's getting his whole spin-off deal going now.
Those movies are pretty much done. Star Wars?
No, Star Wars isn't even, nigga, oh my God. Star Wars isn't even doing that bad. People, I mean, Solo didn't do well by Star Wars standards.
It
But,
didn't do well by any movie standards. It didn't make money.
But that's because people, when it comes to Star Wars fans are very toxic. Like, they will...
Tread carefully. You might destroy our podcast.
I just, not all Star Wars fans, but there's like, it's one of those things where it's like the vocal minority. Like, there will be some like little shit that isn't really that big of a deal.
I'm here to say I like The Last Jedi.
I did.
I think we like The Last Jedi. So if you got a problem with that, you can catch these hands, bruh.
Yes, sir.
We'll go on May on you, bruh.
Yes, sir.
Like, I don't think it's that bad, and I think it was really meant to be like a setup movie for
Right.
this next one, and I'm hoping this next one is good. Because if this one isn't like great, this
And
whole trilogy might be kind of a.
And I think
wash.
it's very reasonable for a series that's as long as Star Wars to have its ups and downs.
I mean,
Like,
it's kind of
not-
it's kind
not-
of been on a downturn for a while.
We're ignoring the 3 that happened that should have never really. I'm just saying that, like, they went on their down and now they need to go up. Because Star Wars, I doubt, is going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So, like,
I don't think it'll ever end.
it's just like people who bitch about their favorite and most hated comic book runs. They love the superhero, but then they're like, oh, well, you know, issues 58 through 97 type bullshit. It's just it is how it is. Everybody's got a bad day or year
I know what she can save.
or decade.
live action anime. She'll just play every character.
Well, she was in a
She can
Miyazaki movie.
She can be Goku in the live action Dragon Ball Z movie. I think she could do it.
Who would be Goku in a live action Dragon Ball Z movie? In all seriousness.
I don't know. We're never going to please everybody.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman could do anything.
Do you stand by that Goku should be Asian? Like, because people got super
Saiyans
mad.
aren't Asian.
Exactly. They're aliens. People were like, you can't make Goku white.
Yeah, that
not
makes
even
sense.
an Earthling.
Like, there are people in Dragon Ball who are specifically Asian, so...
Yeah. There's also dog people.
And?
And there's black people.
Exactly. We have races in Dragon Ball, and Saiyans are not.
I mean, there's a couple black people. There's Mr. Popo and Piccolo.
Mr. Popo's not black.
He is black.
No, he's not.
He's literally
He's
black.
satirically black, but there are actual black people in Dragon Ball who, like, are black and, like, still satirical, but, like, not Mr. Popo black. I don't even know if Mr. Popo is human.
I think he's just a real dark-skinned nigga.
I don't think so.
He's got the blackest voice.
We need the origins of Mr. Popo.
That would be a lit movie.
That would be terrible. Turns out he was never meant to be that dark. Turns out it's like the fucking 1970s and 80s Mormon curse on black people.
Oh, man.
Did you know that?
Mormon, the Book of Mormon's racist.
Anyway.
Did you see that video of the dude and then like the Mormons came to his house?
No.
And he was like, hey, can you turn to this page? And they were like, oh yeah, sure. And he's like, okay, now read this verse. And they were like, and then the sinners were cast away and their skin turned to black for all of their sins. And he's like, oh, okay. Now what does that mean? And they were just like, I mean, who am I to speak for the Lord?
I want to find that video now.
It's funny.
And that verse. I need to start. Oh man. Did I tell you about the time that like people in Vegas tried to get me to be Mormon? It was frustrating.
I've been to Mormon church before.
So have I.
It's pretty lit, actually.
They
got bread and water.
It just doesn't make any sense.
And then you go to this class. And, you sing some songs, color some stuff.
Okay, that was like children's church.
My aunt brings toys in the bag. Me and my cousin play with the toys.
But yeah, we like Bumblebee. Definitely think you should go see it. Or, Into the Spider-Verse if you have that choice.
I'd say go see Bumblebee. Yeah, and that concludes our first spoiler-free review. I think it's time for us to get into our second movie.
Your face right now. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I may have just texted you, stop.
Well, my phone's over there, so I didn't see it or hear it. You didn't. Oh, man. It's the song from the Aquaman trailer.
That is right. We did see Aquaman.
Yeah.
Is it the savior of the DCEU? Or whatever they're calling it now?
What are they calling it?
It's something stupid.
Why you gotta be stupid just because it's something?
Because it's the DCEU. They should just call it Martha.
The Marthaverse.
Marthaverse. Yo, can we just that's once they reboot everything, can that be what this is referred to as?
Yes.
The Marthaverse.
I'm down with that.
Oh man.
I liked it. Overall, I liked it.
Overall, for me, it's a DC movie.
I feel like it's a better DC movie than we've gotten.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I don't think it's better than Justice League, but I think it's better than all the other ones. I think it's okay. It like we said earlier, I'm going to tell you now, go see anything else before this, Spider-Man or Bumblebee or The Grinch. It's Christmas.
I don't know about The Grinch.
I heard The Grinch is pretty good.
Jim Carrey will always be the Grinch.
Jim Carrey will always be the Grinch. Just go buy the Jim Carrey Grinch.
And for all you non-believers out there, if you don't believe that Jim Carrey is a Grinch, you no longer believe in Christmas. Because he didn't save it for you.
Yeah.
Because the movie's called Stole, but he saved it.
He did save Christmas. I don't like... Droid has like this serious look on his face. I'm a little afraid. He's like way too passionate about Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Because I told somebody about how I liked the Jim Carrey Grinch, and they're like, I just don't really like it. And it just... Something inside me.
How old were they?
Like 23.
You know, who is this?
It doesn't.
I was going to insult your friend, but I don't want to do that.
I don't even remember who it was.
Okay,
I know,
who is this stupid motherfucker?
I don't remember who it was. I know that it was a woman. Who was it? I don't think it was our mutual friend. I really hope it wasn't our mutual friend.
No.
Yeah, there's no way it was her.
She likes that.
Who was it?
It was probably someone unimportant to this podcast because they hate Jim Carrey's Grinch.
It was definitely somebody unimportant to this podcast. But yeah. I definitely agree with the fact that it was better than the other DC movies aside from Justice League. But also, I feel like it was pretty close to Justice League for the simple fact... I can't say that yet. I'm not going to say it. You guys are going to have to wait for our full review in about whenever the fuck we get done talking with Bumblebee next time.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was the trailer. This movie had a really good trailer. The second trailer to this...
Yeah, the one where they were like, Bah-wah.
It made me like it.
Bah-wah.
Literally everything that was good in the trailer was either a letdown or just everything that was good about the movie. Like, it was very lackluster.
Okay, I don't think that everything that was in the trailer was... Like, I don't think the trailer is really the only good thing about the movie.
Okay, there was a couple more things that were decent. But
I definitely don't think that the things that were like... And don't try to call us on spoiling this shit, because you ain't seen the trailer, that's on you. The scene where there's like the clash that happens and the crowd goes flying back and everybody gets quiet and then they like cheer. And like after I had seen the scene in the trailer a couple times, I was like, okay, it better be hype.
Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to be some hype shit.
And then like when that moment happened, like it was hype for them, but not for us.
Yeah, it was like not at all. I just want to talk about it. We'll talk about that more in the spoiler discussion.
Right.
But yeah, I just think it was... And that's kind of how the whole movie was to me. I think their dialogue was not good. Like, it was basic. It was just generic stuff that people say in movies. There was nothing in there that was, like, cool. They're, like, underwater land. Like, when you saw Wakanda, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, whoa.
Right. Another problem with Wakanda is I don't think we saw as much of Wakanda as we did of... Like, we saw too much of Atlantis beforehand in the trailers. I think that was an issue. But also, I think the problem with Atlantis versus Wakanda is that Wakanda has a story that we kind of already get. we know that like this land is the way it is because of the culture versus like Atlantis just being how it is because it fell into the ocean.
I don't know.
I feel like Wakanda had a better, like Wakanda was built in a better way than Atlantis was.
Like
Not,
built up?
Yeah.
Like story wise?
Right. That's not to say that like Atlantis
looked really cool.
Right.
But I think you experienced more culture from Atlantis or from Wakanda in that movie. They didn't really dive that deep into this.
And the other problem with the culture aspect of it is that Atlantis, you didn't really get to see the culture.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
they didn't
got
show
to
anything.
Atlantis, being in Atlantis and everything that happened at Atlantis revolved around very specific people. So you didn't get to see outside of what those people were seeing. Whereas with Wakanda, you got to see the lives that these people were living, how they contribute to society, like what makes this place specifically unique.
Let me tell you something. One reason this movie really makes me upset too. I really like William Dafoe.
He was kind of annoying.
William Dafoe was not entertaining. He was kind of like his character sucked. I would have rather seen him. No, that wouldn't work because he's old.
What?
I was gonna say I'd rather see him as like I'd rather just see him in a different role.
What were you going to say though? As
something that I don't know if it was in the trailer, so I don't want to spoil it. But
say it and cut it.
No, because if I miss it, then I don't want to spoil anything. We'll talk about it later.
Fine.
But I just think his character is whack. I would rather see him in Marvel.
I feel like the character... I don't think the character was trash. I think the character was trash because it was played by William Dafoe. Not to say that William Dafoe didn't fit that, like, didn't act well. I feel like that role didn't fit him.
Yeah. You know who could have done a great job in that role?
Who?
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah. Low key.
By the way, while we were in this movie, we saw a trailer with him.
And
is he the new Wesley Snipes? Or
no, because he was the bad guy in that one. It was just like, what was that?
No, what I'm saying is he's in everything.
The new textbook black guy?
Yeah. Because he got that Oscar, he's
Did Wesley
he's the
Snipes
new Denzel.
get back out of jail? Is he back out of jail?
Yeah, and then he went and did The Expendables.
Okay.
And then they picked him up. They're like, what were you in jail for? He's like, tax evasion. It was funny. But I don't
know if he gets to be Wesley Snipes. What year is it? Okay, he's got it's 2000. It's 2018. He's got 2 years. Wesley Snipes has 2 years to reclaim his title, and then Mahershala Ali takes it because he was in jail. So we got to account for that.
Why is there really only like one big black actor at a time? Is it just like one dark skin and one light skin? Because I'm thinking about it. And while Wesley Snipes was kind of killing it too, you know, there was Will Smith, who was also getting into the acting game. He was the young buck, and we got Michael B. Jordan, and we got Mahershala Ali.
Michael B. Jordan's really on the light skin, though. I mean, they're kind of close in complexion, honestly.
Michael B. Jordan used to be lighter.
Yeah.
I think he's gotten darker. I think he's been not bleaching his skin, but just like tanning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where did bleaching even come from?
Because like a lot of niggas bleach their skin.
Yeah, I know, but like,
I was trying to think of the opposite of that.
Okay. Fuck. Now I can't remember what movie it was where Mahershala was the bad guy, and I really want to. I literally saw. I was like,
what, that movie?
Yeah, the trailer we saw.
Yeah, I was trying to think of it too while we were. Was it that Akio? Akira, is that like
anime? Alita Battle Angel. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Which
I said Akio.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about that movie yet. I've never read the manga. Some people were annoyed about it.
It kind of looks like from the trailer, it just looks like an action movie, but
I feel like what we see, like, the problem is the art style. I think that's the main thing. because like she's drawn really weird, and then everybody else is normal. But who knows? We'll see. Anyway, back to Justice League. Not Justice League. Not Justice League. I mean, part of the Justice League. Aquaman. Back to Aquaman. Like I said, Jason Mamoa, he did good.
Yeah, Jason Mamoa is great.
Which like didn't surprise me.
That because he's beautiful.
It didn't surprise me that he was going to be good, but I was like really thinking about it because everybody's like talking about how people just want to see it because just Jason Momoa, he's just a big beautiful man, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I feel like because I haven't really seen much of him outside of Justice League.
I've never heard of anything where he did bad.
Right. But like I feel like a lot of people haven't seen much of his stuff, and they just assume because he's like a big attractive dude, he's a bad actor, and women just want to see him.
I mean, that is
like I've heard
true.
that.
Like,
I've
there's
heard that.
Not a lot of big dudes who are just great actors.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of a stupid stigma. Just because a nigga's big and in shape, that means they're probably a bad actor.
I mean, has it ever proven wrong until now? I mean, I don't really know if he's like a bad actor. I've seen him in Game of Thrones.
I haven't. Yeah, no.
I've seen him in Justice League. Actually, he was one of my favorite
Is
characters.
Terry Crews a bad actor?
Is Terry Crews... I mean, Terry Crews is kind of like a... Who are we talking about? John Cena. Terry Crews is not a great actor, but he's not a bad actor. He's kind of just an actor. And he's kind of like a one-trick pony. How many movies have you seen him do his pec pump?
He's like typecast. I'll give him that, but I'm not saying... he's definitely typecast. But I'm not.
Definitely is.
I'm just like, is he a bad actor?
I don't think he's bad.
Who else? The Rock is not really a bad actor. John Cena is not. These are big dudes who are in shape.
And that's what I'm talking about. I think they kind of like get stigmatized as that. They're
Right.
just the big brooding force in things.
Yeah.
And
I just want you to note that I was saying that.
Well, no.
Don't claim it for me. I started this.
You did start it. But same with Asian dudes. They get typecast as like either like some sensei or like a martial artist.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like Jackie Chan said, he was like, I just want to do like a rom-com. And I would go see that. I would love to see Jackie Chan in a rom-com.
I feel like he's getting too old. You need to hurry up and do that if it's gonna be a thing.
Nowadays, people are dating at all ages.
Yeah, but like, I feel like he's getting too old. We're gonna have to get that done before it gets too late. Anyway, I like the action. I think that the action was better in this movie than the other DC movies. Maybe even Justice League. Maybe. I have to think about it.
See, that I don't know about. Just because it might be. Like, Man of Steel, that was the one thing I really don't like about Man of Steel.
Man of Steel was just gratuitous violence.
It was just it was two really powerful dudes flying back and forth into each other.
Exactly.
Batman vs. Superman, we did get to see Batman fuck up all those dudes, and that was a great scene. When he was crawling like a thing on the wall, I was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm behind it.
It still doesn't make sense to me.
He's an animal. He's Batfleck. But Justice League, yeah, I don't think there was really like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the peak for these movies too, and we kind of left her out. And we were just on our kick about women being the leading role.
Let me tell you something. When did Wonder Woman come out?
Before the Justice League.
Like what year?
Like 2017.
Last year?
I think so. Or 16. Maybe end of 2016.
2017, huh? June of 2017.
And then Justice League came out at the end of the year.
Wow. That's crazy.
Did Justice League come out this year?
Similar movies.
Is Justice League not in the similar movies?
No, let me tell you what's in the similar movies, so you know how stupid this sounds. Aquaman, Avengers: Infinity War, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, The Avengers, Black Panther, Venom.
I forgot about Suicide Squad.
Forget about it again.
I'm trying to think if there was some good violence in that. I think that one might have been some of the best fight scenes.
I haven't seen Suicide Squad. Justice League came out the same year as it came out in November of 2017.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I've only seen, I haven't seen Wonder Woman all the way through, which is annoying, but
it is pretty shitty.
So I guess I can't necessarily. I still feel like some of the action scenes in here are a little bit more dope, but I've only seen parts of Wonder Woman, so I'll leave that out.
Yeah, there's
because there's some.
No, Wonder Woman is definitely better. Those Amazonians get down, bruh. They get ruthless. There's a few scenes where it was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe of course it's not on Netflix.
But this one I would put maybe up there as second.
Okay.
Third. I can't really remember Suicide Squad and Justice League too much.
Okay. I would say go see it. But
I would say if you have nothing else, if you've already seen Bumblebee,
if you've seen Bumblebee and Spider-Man, then go see it.
If you have
or
not
if
seen
you
those.
For some reason don't fuck with either one of those franchises, then go see it. And if you don't fuck with either one of those franchises, you probably shouldn't be at the movie theater, but you do you, boo-boo.
Speaking of Aquaman, though, one thing DC, really. There's this poll on Twitter, and people were like, which one do you want? And it was sequels to all these movies. It was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2, Black Panther 2, Man of Steel 2, sequels to all the superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it was ridiculous Man of Steel 2. Everyone was saying Man of Steel 2.
That's annoying.
I was just yo, what is going on? Then there was a few Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I was yes.
Definitely better than fucking Man of Steel.
Yeah, I don't. Man of Steel isn't bad,
but Spider-Verse is way better.
Into the Spider-Verse is great, but I can see where a lot of people might not have seen that. And we just got that, so Man of Steel is 5 years, 6 years old.
Spider-Verse has to steal.
Technically, Batman vs Superman is Man of Steel 2.
Yeah. I don't know who the fuck he would fight in Man of Steel 2. Can't be Doomsday, because that would be the death of Superman.
And then he already died. He already fought Doomsday and died.
Yeah, good point. So that is out the fucking window.
Solomon Grundy.
That would just be weird. I feel on the screen that would just be weird. That only makes sense in cartoons. That Superman can't be Grundy.
Lex Luthor?
Maybe.
He hasn't really fought like Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor Jr.?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want a Superman 2 right now. His power is scaled too high for it.
That's the thing with them. They don't. That's something they need to learn how to show cool. Is these really powerful people fighting really powerful people, and not make it just look corny.
They need to make them grow. They need to make the characters grow, just like Thor Ragnarok. Thor,
you mean power wise?
Yeah.
You meant Power Rangers.
No.
It's just a whole movie, and then at the very end they all grow to the size of Godzilla.
No, the characters need obviously they need character growth. We're always going to get that, but as far as their powers go, you can't just ass pull and give them powers. You need to have them work their way into things, or give them a reason to be more powerful.
Yeah. Let's definitely see that. I mean, I guess they kind of did that with Superman in Justice League. But I'm interested to see where they go with all of DC. I think this is okay. If you've seen those other two movies, go see this.
This movie actually makes me more excited for DC, but I can't get into it until...
The one I'm really excited for is Shazam.
I don't know. It just looks like it's going to be so corny. It scares me.
I think it's going to be very, self-aware of itself. I mean, and that's something... This was something I've been waiting for because I think movies with kids around that age are always hilarious because kids around that age are hilarious. And I think it's going to be interesting to see like a kid who's also a superhero. I'm not sure how I feel about who they cast as Shazam.
Right.
Because I don't know if he's going to be able to play 13-year-old in a grown man's body well.
It's just weird to me because Shazam, I get what they're doing with this, but Shazam's shit is dark. He's not just he's just some kid who got powers, but there's a reason he gets those powers. And I can't remember what is the other guy's name? The one who wants his powers.
Black Lightning?
Is it Black Light? No, Black Lightning is DC.
This is all DC.
But no, Black Lightning is
Oh, that's that show, yeah.
Black Adam.
Black Adam, yeah.
Yeah.
They're making his movie too.
Yeah, but that nigga is out there ready to kill any and everybody.
I just thought about Shazam. The Rock is playing him. So we're gonna see that guy that's playing Shazam fight the Rock.
Which
this dude with his fake muscles is fighting the Rock.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna be a funny ass movie. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Do we know who the bad guy is in Shazam?
I thought it was... I don't know. I don't know if we do.
I mean, I guess I'm okay with that, but better be somebody I care about or somebody they can make me care about.
Yeah, DC, develop your villains, okay? You tried a little bit with this movie, and you didn't. You didn't at all.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but...
I don't think the bad guy in this was well developed. I don't think they got into his backstory well enough. It was just a one-time mention, and he's like, this is why I want to destroy the world.
We really can't talk about this until the spoiler, because specifically the beginning of this, my statement is a spoiler.
Okay. I think we've talked about this enough. It's time for us to get into our trailer talk.
So, what was your trailer this week?
My trailer was Hellboy.
Oh, sticking with the superhero theme?
I guess.
Incorrect. He's not a superhero. He's an anti-hero.
Why would you set me up like that?
Because I was testing you, and you failed.
Let me tell you. I don't know about this movie.
I've seen the trailer too, so
it looks... It's very different than the original Hellboy movies.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems like... I don't know how to describe it. I feel like a douchebag would really love this movie. He'd be like, bro, have you seen Hellboy? Hellboy is the dopest movie of the year.
Yeah.
I love Hellboy. His horns. I'm thinking about getting some horns implanted in my head right here. Because I want to just be like him.
I just feel like this is one of those things where they should have left it. I mean, okay, what is the guy's? He's the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good actor.
Yeah. I forget what his name is. I think it's
but
Anthony Mackie.
No. Even though he's a good actor, I just feel like we should have never tried to do another Hellboy movie without Ron Perlman.
I actually think he looks cool, and I think he might do the character justice. I think the overall story of the movie and maybe the director's take on the whole thing may not be too good, but I'm not sure. It might have just been the trailer and the music choice that they picked.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's just because Ron Perlman has an iconic voice.
Yeah.
And I need that to match. Maybe I'm just biased. Definitely a possibility.
His name is David Harbour.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know. Seeing him as Hellboy is just so strange to me. And I really hope he does well in the role. I don't think he won't because he's a good actor, but that's where I'm hung up on that.
Yeah.
Story-wise, I don't know. I mean, we only got the trailer, so I don't know too much about it, and I haven't seen it for like a week, so.
It looks okay. We're going to have to probably see more. Like, I'm just worried that they're going to make it into like some like cheesy action movie. And that's kind of what it feels like it's going to be right now, is a cheesy action movie, when really like the Guillermo del Toro movies, like they had really like good character development, and their side characters had like these kind of real emotional like storylines to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is gonna have that.
Yeah.
But we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll go see it and let you guys know. What'd you pick?
I was about to do a weird sound effect, but I stopped myself.
Yes, please stop.
I picked Men in Black International, starring Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth. Is it Chris or Liam? It's Chris.
It's Chris.
Sometimes I just can't keep them apart. They look so different. Just one is bigger. I mean, look so similar. One is bigger. I'm excited for it. I've been waiting for like a new MLB movie for a long time. And MIB. I said MLB.
Yeah. I've been waiting for an MLB movie. It's been a while since we got a good It's been a while since we got a good baseball movie.
But I want one with it. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I could have sworn that the whole thing was that there was supposed to be a 21 Jump Street crossover at some point. Did they just get rid of that?
I don't know.
I don't know if like they got rid of that or if Tessa Thompson, because like in the trailer, Tessa Thompson's been looking for MIB for, what did she say, 20 years? I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. So I don't know how to feel about them not doing that, because honestly I thought it might have been okay. I liked the Jump Street movies. They were funny and they kind of fit in with like the humor of Men in Black.
Definitely.
I think I loved when the trailer started. You get Liam Neeson as like the mentor to Chris Hemsworth character. I was like, good for you, Liam. Going back to the mentor rules and not the avenging father. Getting real tired of the avenging father.
Does he die?
It kind of seemed like it, but I
mean, it makes sense. He pretty much dies and everything.
I don't think he died, because is he not the one that introduced her to Chris Hemsworth? It's like, this is the best agent, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, we don't really know what happens in this movie, like, at all, which I'm cool with. Like, we have no idea what happens plot-wise other than Tessa Thompson finding MIB.
I think we do. It's Men in Black fighting aliens.
But we don't know why. We don't know what is causing what's going on.
Are they sexist?
Why?
Because it's Men in Black.
I think it's Men in Black because they're like, it would sound weird if it was like Humans in Black.
I don't know.
People in Black. Persons in Black. Organization. Yeah, just. And then like if you say women, then like aliens start getting weird.
What if it was operatives in black?
Fewer syllables, I think, are just better.
Ops in Black.
Black Ops. I think there's issues when we get to that. I don't think they're sexist. They let Tessa Thompson wear a suit.
That is pretty dope.
That's forward thinking.
It's better than that suit she wore in fucking.
Oh my god!
Sorry to bother you.
Fuck.
I mean, not
Why
really
do you keep
better.
bringing that movie up? I want to be done with that movie. I'm so disappointed by that movie. I'm pretty sure we specifically said we were just going to forget about that movie like 3 episodes ago.
I'm just sick of this shit.
Ah.
The movie looks so good. Okay, now we're really done with it, and I'm going to remember it this time that we're done. You won't hear about it again, people, or maybe you will. Who knows?
Oh my god. MIB looks like it's going to be good. The only thing I think that I'm kind of worried about is that they're playing too much on like the first MIB movie where like Will Smith was like the mentee and he's like learning about all this cool new shit. And she's like with Chris Hemsworth at the car and he's like, you know, it's just weird. I hope they don't like make those into tropes.
They might.
I hope they don't.
It kind of seems like it might be like a reboot continuation type thing.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm excited for it.
I am too. I'm more excited for that than Hellboy, actually.
Yeah. MIB movies have always been good. Even if they weren't all like great.
Yeah.
Like, they've always had good takeaways.
I agree.
All right, so at this point, we're going to move on to our full review of Bumblebee, where there will be spoilers. If you haven't watched the movie, then go watch it, and then come back. And then after that, go watch Aquaman, and then come back.
Yep.
And then look this way. I won't be riding a horse. I'm broke.
All right, so Bumblebee, really, like, as far as spoilers go, I don't know.
See, I knew you were going to do this. Now we're going to talk about him losing his voice too early because you said we were going to talk about it, then you didn't talk about it immediately.
Him losing his voice?
Yes, I think he lost his voice too early because I get it as like a plot device, but I just don't like it was literally within the first 15 minutes.
It really was.
And like he didn't figure out how to talk until an hour and 10 minutes in.
Yeah, it
which is fine, but like it doesn't matter because he also lost his memory.
Yeah.
Even if he had had his voice, shit would not have been simple. Like the situation would not have been easy to figure out. He still would have been in the garage. It would have made it easier for her to communicate with him, if anything.
It would have been, I think, it would have been better if he would have had his voice. It would have been cool just to have a Bumblebee movie where he actually talks throughout the whole movie. Like, if he would have lost it in that last fight, I think that would have been better.
That would have been cool.
Like,
especially because this fight, like, I don't know what they plan on doing with Transformers after this movie.
Me neither.
But if they plan on continuing on with this, then I don't like that Bumblebee already has that going for him. Like the no voice thing. I feel like we should have... Because at this point, him losing his voice does nothing for how we feel about the situation. Like, we know he lost his voice in the originals. Oh, he's going to lose his voice again. We don't really care. I mean, I guess if you're one of those people who came into this movie like, oh, hey, Bumblebee's talking. And then he loses his shit. You're like, oh, no. I'm going to go another 4 movies without hearing him talk. Then I guess it's effective, but I'm not one of those people.
I hope they don't continue this Bumblebee stuff. Like,
him not being able to talk, or just from like this particular storyline.
I can maybe do one more movie that shows maybe how he ended up in Bernie Mac's. dealership. But then they're going to have to do a computer-generated Bernie Mac.
I mean, they did a lot of computer-generated Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man 3.
Did they?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure like 40% of Robert Downey Jr. was CGI in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
In what scenes? When he's Iron Man?
No, when he's Tony Stark.
Nah, he was a human. He was no computer.
I should have done this with my right hand.
I just realized how funny we look when we're looking things up with these mics in our head. We're like this. Look at me. Oh God, we are some funny looking motherfuckers.
Yeah, he had an ankle injury, and they had to stop production for 6 weeks because it would have set the release date back. The beach scene at the end. Oh, of course, they're like, for a link. I mean, for a full breakdown, follow the link.
Okay, so he was CGI in that movie.
Yeah, they had a body double and just used his face over the body double, like they did with Paul Walker in Fast and Furious.
So we need a CG Bernie Mac at the end of the next one.
Yeah.
Who would do his voice, though, in his dialogue? Does he have a brother?
They just take all of Bernie Mac's stand-up and stitch that together.
That'd be kind of dope.
That would be really dope. Somebody would need to get paid a lot of money for that. But, yeah. I think they could do it. That being said, I don't know if that's where they're going with it. Like, this might be a completely different universe.
And, I mean, that's why he became the same. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure that's
why he became
the same
Camaro?
car. The Camaro, yeah. Like, this is just the prequel.
I don't know.
This definitely isn't a reboot.
Has anybody actually confirmed that?
Michael Bay.
I don't think he gets to do that now.
He said this. He's still part of this. He was a producer.
Yeah, but I don't think he gets to just do that now.
He owns Transformers.
Hasbro owns Transformers. Hell, Hasbro owns Michael Bay at this point.
Pretty much.
I don't know. We'll see where this goes, but if they do continue on if they continue this on as a reboot, I'd be okay with more.
I would too.
What I want, honestly, though, is for Transformers to be like the Cartoon Network series. I don't know if you ever watched Energon. Like, there's 3 seasons, like Energon, Cybertron, or like, but they're like super lit. Did you ever watch those?
I probably did.
They had like the mini bots.
I do remember that. And I remember, like, I want the toys, and I got one, and I was like, yes.
And Starscream was out there flexing for like a whole season because he got the right mini bot at the right time. And at one point, he just levels a whole forest with one blast. And they're like, oh no, Starscream's a badass now. That is the moment in my childhood where I started to hate Starscream. Not even like, no time before that did I really care about Starscream, but at that point I hated him. And then I hated him in the movies because of that.
One thing based on the trailer, I thought that jet that he was fighting
was going to be Starscream.
I thought it was going to be Starscream.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't make it Starscream.
They didn't use any like recognizable Transformers that were on Earth.
That one on the moon, the name sounded familiar.
Right.
I don't remember who it was.
I think there are a lot of Transformers that have like names that are familiar because they're peculiar, but they're not like big players in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
The one on Cybertron with the dog, can't remember his name. Pretty sure he's like an old school Transformer.
I think
from
so.
Like original Hasbro shit. Maybe he's even in the new ones because I remember in the new ones they had that weird like tiger deal that was going across the tundra, and I think he came from another Transformer. But I don't know. They didn't make a point to like give us names. I also thought it was weird that we got like no Megatron at all in this movie.
No Megatron whatsoever.
Like his name wasn't said. We didn't even get a glimpse of Megatron. which is weird because he's the leader of the Decepticons and they're literally fighting a war on Cybertron. He's not there.
You think like at least like a little hologram comes up and is like, destroy all the Autobots. I mean Bumblebee.
I don't know what that was about.
Maybe the guy didn't want to do the voice no more.
Nah.
What is his name? Fuck.
I don't know his name. He's always wanted to do the voice.
It's the guy from he's in Red Skull.
Is that the same guy?
That's the guy who's been doing it since the first one.
Since the first movie or the first
movie?
Because the same guy's done Optimus since like the original Transformers.
Yeah, and this guy has done Megatron since the first first Transformers movie. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. Maybe that's the next movie, Megatron.
The third one's just going to take place after all of these, and they're going to call it Prime, and it's going to be the sequel to the last what was it? The Last Night or whatever.
And that one wasn't bad.
No,
it wasn't like great, but it wasn't bad. Like it's definitely enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think most of the Transformers movies are enjoyable, but maybe that's me wearing rose-colored glasses as a fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it is, oh well, that's how I fucking feel about it. Fight me.
Why does this nigga look so weird in this picture? If you're listening, go on to IMDb and just look up Shia LaBeouf.
Don't look up Shia LaBeouf. He doesn't want you looking him up. Haven't you seen his shirt? It specifically says, "I'm not famous anymore."
He's been in a movie since then.
Since he wore that shirt?
Yeah.
What movie?
He was just like last year. He was in a movie where he was a soldier who went homeless.
Huh? A soldier who went homeless?
Yeah, he was a veteran. He came back from the war.
Okay, I just want you to like say a soldier who was homeless, because soldiers don't just go homeless. They don't just make a decision to go homeless.
No, he went homeless. Like, he was in the war, he came back, and he was, like, a veteran.
I guess you can say went homeless, because people don't go hungry. I mean, they do go hungry, but they don't make a decision to be hungry.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
Don't be a bitch.
Huh. But yeah, I still have not found his name. I'm pretty sure his last name is, like, Weaver.
Well,
Hugo Weaving.
Nah, okay. Let me see the face.
Oh, God damn
it. You undecided to scroll. Oh. We already talked about Haley Steinfeld, but once again, she did great. Only thing I know that you pointed out is that sometimes in the action scene, she was a little bit too much.
Yeah, she did. Her emotion, she got way too emotional. I mean, she wasn't what the fuck is her name? Why can't I'm drawing a blank.
Who does too much or too little?
Yeah, never the perfect amount.
I know exactly who
Katniss.
you're thinking of. Yeah, that's what Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence, yeah. She's no Jennifer Lawrence. She wasn't going like, snot hanging from her lip down to her toes, but not breaking.
Right. I don't think she was too much, really. But I can see, like, in the grant, like, if you think about what's going on, most human beings would be hysterical.
Yeah.
And I think that's one weird thing about, like, actors. Like, when we try to judge what actors are doing in these roles, you're like, oh, that's not believable. Well, how would you feel if a 20-foot fucking robot was aiming an energy cannon at your fucking face?
Yeah, overall, I think she did really good. I think everyone in this movie, the parents, the brother, everyone played
the stepdad. What was his name? Neil?
I think so.
Fucking Neil.
I think they played their roles really well.
You know what I loved at the end? Going back to you.
She dove?
I knew that was going to happen.
Do you think she actually did that?
I was wondering.
That's the only thing that I wondered.
I really have been wondering.
I expected it to happen because they wouldn't have brought her up her like diving.
Right.
If she wouldn't have done it. But like,
I was really hoping when they were fucking with her on the beach, she was going to be like, fuck y'all, and just jumped off and be mad and left.
I was kind of hoping so too.
You know what was hilarious is when they went to TP the house and
Bumblebee fucked up that car.
He stomped the shit out that car. He did a dance on that nigga. Was out there like Rick James.
And then he just tried to hide behind it. That shit was funny as fuck.
Oh man, but no. I hope she did that now, because if she did, then she's fucking dope.
That shit was on point, bro.
Right?
Like, I don't think she actually dove into like some big like water thing, but like at least into like a pool that was like, and then CG'd around that shit. Like, if she did that dive, she's a beast.
The fuck was I about to say? Oh, I love the fact that they like Jorge. I don't know. He was trying to get at Charlie the whole time, and like most of what he did was motivated by him wanting to like.
He just wanted to talk to her.
Yeah, but he wanted to be more than friends.
He didn't want to be more than friends.
And at the end, he like tries to hold her hand. She's like, not there yet.
that was a really good scene, and she did that really well.
And I was like, I could appreciate that. Just because relationships happen spur of the moment in real life doesn't mean they have to happen in every movie. Because that's what it happens so much.
They do. I mean, she already has one love. That's why it wasn't time, because she's not over her first love, Bumblebee. What's wrong with that? Are you saying that a woman and a robot can't be together?
I just thought you were talking about a different movie. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what he's talking about.
No, this one. I have one more question for you.
Huh.
So when Bumblebee drove off on the bridge, there's a big-ass semi-truck next to him.
It was not Optimus.
Are you sure?
It was not Optimus.
Are you sure?
I thought it was Optimus, but then he drove past that thing. He like slowed down and then he kept going.
No, they were both like right next to each other. They drove out of the camera together. Like they weren't like, he didn't like speed past him. They were just kind of like, you know.
He also didn't have the Autobot sigil on him.
He just got to the planet. He's not sure what the fuck's going on.
They always have the Autobot sigil on them.
Just because you didn't see it, it was a tease. Maybe they're like, "Hey, Optimus is here. You want to see the next movie?"
No, it wasn't Optimus.
It probably wasn't.
Try hard. Trying to make more of things.
I don't know. What was the after credit scene? Was there an after credit scene?
I don't remember there being one.
I think we waited.
Yeah, you were annoyed, and now I remember you were like, "Did we just wait for nothing?" And you're like, "Ah, it was trash." And you're like, "But I did like how they did the credits."
Oh yeah, I did like how they did the credits. It was really cool. Like instead of like them scrolling down, it was like just flashing.
Yeah.
Each like row of names. That was really dope.
Which made them a lot faster too.
It did. Everyone, start doing your trailers like that. Fucking Aquaman's trailers were so fucking long.
But I was okay because I was taking notes. That's my thing now. Take notes throughout the trailer.
All right. What would you rate this movie? Or is there more you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the lack of Transformers in this?
No. If they don't want Transformers in their own movie, we're not going to keep them in our review.
All right. What would you give this movie?
3.7.
3.7?
Yeah. I'd
give it a 4.2. Like, because there's not really a lot bad I can name.
Yeah. Like I said, like, it's not bad. But it's not as good as they let us to believe.
I don't think it's worth the 95%.
And like,
rating.
I feel like a lot of the movies, like the only movies we've rated above a 4.5, I think, are Spider-Man and A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
And those movies were like amazing.
Those movies were amazing.
So I feel like for me to say that this is higher than, I mean, maybe I could go for a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 4.2 for a Transformers movie, and I'm gonna give it like a 3.7, 3.5 for a regular movie.
Yeah, I can, and let's honestly, like a lot of movies, like a 3 would be average. You know, This is not just an average movie, but I think a lot of movies are average, and people aren't okay with like if you hear us give something between a 3 and a 4, that doesn't mean that it was bad. If it was bad, we'll tell you it was bad. But average doesn't mean bad. I can't wait to see a
movie where we give it a 0.
I think at that point we just don't see the movie.
Well, I mean, if we saw it and just really, it was just.
Is
really
that possible?
Trash.
Like,
I mean, say we go to like the midnight premiere for Star Wars.
I don't know if that's possible to give a movie a 0 though. It's like 1 to 5. If we give something a 0, then that means that movie.
What would you give Action Point?
Damn, what did I give Action Point? I don't
think we gave it a number rating.
Oh man, shit.
I think you gave it like. I think we did. I think you gave it like a 1 point something.
I was gonna say like a 1.5, but
okay. I think it's time for us to get on to Aquaman.
I'm sorry, that song is just in my head. It's annoying because it's not in the movie.
Are you talking about the like starting? Oh,
in the trailer. Yeah, it was just like so hype. Felt like inspirational. Like
you've been watching Titans, right? You know the song that plays in the beginning when they're like showing like the DC logo?
Okay.
When they were showing that in Aquaman, I was like hearing that in my head. I was like, it sucks that they're not playing that. I actually like that intro.
Oh man. I need to watch more Titans.
What are you doing after this?
Watching Bird Box?
Never mind then.
You know, do you work tomorrow?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go to bed. I'm a big boy.
Well, let your mama know. I'm a big kid now. Are we allowed to say that?
I don't think so.
Well, I did. Sue me.
I think we can.
Nah, don't sue me.
I'm not getting paid.
All right. So I made a statement when we first talked about this, where I said I feel like this movie is for Aquaman what Thor Ragnarok was for Thor, and you were you were real quick to say nah, fuck that. No. But and I feel like you still don't feel that way, which is fine.
Well, explain why you feel like that.
I feel like for a couple of reasons. One thing that we have yet to see, because it's a DC movie, like they haven't really built the universe. But one, this movie sometimes a little bit funnier than the other ones, so I'll give it that. I think story-wise, like Aquaman hasn't gotten nearly as much light as the other characters, which is fine. Neither has The Flash. Hopefully that movie's good. But I feel like nobody really cared about Aquaman in like Justice League, and his little didn't he have like a after credit scene in Batman vs Superman where they like found out who was and like up until this point we haven't really seen enough of Aquaman to justify him being like a part of the Justice League, because in Justice League he really doesn't do that much.
Well, I mean,
like
not in the
he
water.
he fights Steppenwolf underwater.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There wasn't like an Atlantis scene, huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't like the Atlantis that we see. It was like one of those like random like forbidden places. And then he stops the water when they're in that tunnel. But like he wasn't really trying to be an active combatant. I don't remember. Was he there when they were fighting Superman? When they first resurrected him? Mm-hmm. Okay. I just don't remember it. And
I'm pretty sure he was.
And he doesn't have to be in the water to be strong. Like he's still a strong nigga. He definitely strength. Is. But
I mean, even if he didn't have superpowers, he'd still be a strong nigga. Look at him.
Yeah. But I feel like this movie did exactly what we were talking about for Aquaman in terms of giving a character a reason to grow. Like, that was the same thing that happened with Thor. He didn't really have much of a reason to be stronger than he was until we got Hell destroying his hammer and, Odin giving him the whole, the power doesn't come from the hammer, it comes for you. So when he does get another one, he's way stronger. Whereas with like Arthur Curry, we've seen up to this point is like a strong character. But it gets to a point where like, and this is jumping way far as plot goes, when he goes to get the Trident of Atlan, it's like he comes out almost like a completely different person. And I think a lot of people didn't like Aquaman. Like, I know specifically Jeff and a couple of other people were like, I'm not going to like this Aquaman because he's just a rock star, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's because this guy has been like disenfranchised. Like, he's been pretty much by himself. Like, he's a loner. He hasn't had people to fight for. Like, he's not the king that you expect him to be because he hasn't been in the position to grow into that. And I feel like this movie was turning Arthur Curry, this Aquaman, into what he needs to be as far as Justice League is concerned. Like, as far as the entirety of their cinematic universe, whatever we're going to call it. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't agree that it's like Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, Thor, I don't know, Thor was like already a superhero. He knew what his role was.
But the thing about Thor is that, like, he has his own movies are like separate from what's going on in the other ones. Like, the third one is the only one that like really ties into the other ones. At the end, like,
kinda,
like he's been really doing his own thing.
I mean, that's really how all the Avengers movies are, though. They kind of have their own story, and then the people who make Avengers have to figure out how to tie that all in together and make this movie that is coherent with all of these people's stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a decent story, even though to me, like I kind of said, this is just like a DC Moana. And instead of having a big sidekick, he has a pretty woman as his sidekick. He goes on this adventure to try and restore what's his and save his people. And that's what he does. And then when, instead of him having his grandma come talk to him in the middle of the ocean, he's in a big tunnel fighting a lizard, and then has the lizard side with him. Like, I don't think this is like Thor Ragnarok at all, but I do think this is
another reason. I think this movie was a lot more fun than the other DC movies, where Thor Ragnarok was a lot more fun than the other Marvel movies.
I think I can agree with that, even though I still think Wonder Woman has this one beat.
Well, okay, but Wonder Woman, like I said, I haven't seen Wonder Woman all the way through. But when I say fun, I mean not just the action standpoint.
I agree. Like, okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The comedy was great in that too, and they really had there's great personality with all the different characters.
Okay.
And I think their characters were a lot more fleshed out, and the dialogue was a lot better than this one.
Interesting. I definitely have to see Wonder Woman.
You should definitely. It's still the best DC movie.
When you say their dialogue, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like, it seems like a realistic way to talk, and not just like a corny theatrical way to talk. And, like, I get that they're Atlanteans, so they talk differently, and it's just the way they talk.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, don't give them so much lines then. Like,
see,
boring. And
here's my issue with that statement. It goes back to the conversation we had in the car yesterday about these characters being relatable or not, right?
Yeah.
Atlanteans in general, not as relatable as any other human being in these movies because they're different. Not because they're bad characters, but because they're different. And I have an issue with that because just because you cannot relate with a character doesn't mean they're a bad character.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. Because there are a lot of people who don't relate with specific characters, but those characters are good in their particular roles.
It's not just being as like relatable, but it's also like an understanding of, at least if they're not going to be relatable, then you have to depict why they're doing this and their motivation. And you kind of get the motivation of the brother.
Right.
Oh, you killed my mom.
Well, he didn't kill his mom. That shit has happened in real life to like in royalty.
But like you,
but you wouldn't relate to that because you're not royalty.
What I'm saying is like they kind of showed that,
mm-hmm.
and that is what his like understanding standpoint is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the actor didn't do a good job of depicting that and like showing some real emotion. I didn't like him. I don't like that guy, for one, so I might be a little biased. I don't know where I've seen him from, but when I saw his face, I was like, I don't like this guy.
I didn't like the mindset of the character in general, but I got why he felt the way he did. And I think that probably the best scene for him is when he and Arthur are about to fight in the Ring of Fire, and he gives him the chance to walk away. Even though he knows that he's not going to take that chance, he gives him that chance.
That, I agree. That scene was amazing.
Right? And it was like,
give us more. Like, a little bit more. Like, that was it. Like, they have to build a character. Mm-hmm. And that's DC's biggest problem with their antagonist, is they're not really that good.
Well, the problem with a movie like this is that when you give us an antagonist, like Thanos was doable because Thanos, we gave him a couple after credit scenes and an extra long movie to build himself. But like Orm, was that his brother's name? Orm?
I think so.
Orm is like, he didn't mean to become the antagonist that he was. Like, he wanted to go to war with the surface, but not because he was being an asshole. In the first place, it was because he was trying to protect the sea. And then he became an asshole, like Three Kingdoms support in. And like, Orm wasn't, when you think of Orm as the quote unquote bad guy, you have to realize that his heart isn't in it the way other bad guys are in it. Like, he's just going off of what he was taught. He hasn't really built this whole belief for himself that this is how things should be, if that makes sense. It's like with people in religion. Like when somebody spends their entire life, being told something, and then they get to the point in life when they like have to question that, and when they decide for themselves, then that's how it is. That's how it is. But I feel like Orm is only the way he is because like his dad was like that, and the people around him were like that, and the tradition of his people has made him be like that. But I really don't feel like Orm is that bad of a guy until he decides that he's going to start killing people.
He was always that bad of a guy. That's why they came to him in the beginning and said, this guy shouldn't be king. If he was just a guy that just, that's how everyone believed, it would have happened a lot sooner.
They didn't say he shouldn't be king. They said he shouldn't be Ocean Master. All right? And also...
No, they said he shouldn't be king. They said he shouldn't be king. They were like, we need you, Arthur, to come down here.
No.
Be the real king.
I'm talking about the other people. The only two people said he shouldn't be king. That was the princess and his mentor. And so here's the problem. Here's the problem with that statement. They're the only people who knew Arthur was alive. They're not saying that he needs to be king because he shouldn't be king. They're saying it's his right, and his mom would have made a different decision that they agree with. And since he was raised with his mom, raised by his mom partially, then he's going to make the decision that they're going to make.
I can understand that. And it does make sense, you know, with the end scene. And that was something else I really enjoyed. When he fought and the mom came up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she was like, "You're misguided. You know, I still love you.
Right.
You're still my son. You just are misguided." And then he goes to prison.
And Arthur's like, you know, when you're ready to talk,
let's talk. And I like that. I thought that was actually a good scene. I think that's part of it. I don't think Aquaman talked enough in this movie. And when he did, it was just like these weird quips. Like Spider-Man.
Well, that's the kind of person he is. And I mean, he even kind of, like, when he's talking to, what is the princess's name?
Mira?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's Mira.
So when he's talking to her about, and this is something that made me enjoy him more as a character, because he separated himself from the rock star image that people have portrayed. When he's talking about how he is used to solving problems with his fists and not like working things out, not confronting his emotion. I felt like he was a much more believable character at that point, and it kind of made sense why he acts the way he does. Like, because he acted the way he acts weird, not weird, but like one-liner, like saying lots of one-liners and like being a little bit corny up until that point. Like, after that, it's not really a thing for him, because then they end up going to like the core of the earth and he fights the whatever the fuck that shit was called. I think they said that shit in like a different language. Like, that's part of like his changes of character, and I like that for him. Like, he's grown past what we saw in Justice League, and he'll be a very different character when we see him in the next movie he's in.
I think his character is one of the characters that has the potential for a lot of development.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I can see him becoming completely different by the end of the Justice League run here that they're doing.
Right.
While you were talking, I was thinking in my head, and I was like, why is it that I don't like
Black Manta?
Black Manta?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like him. I don't think his dialogue, I didn't like his acting style. I didn't like the way he delivered his lines. I was not a fan. But I was going to say, why don't I like DC as much? Like, and I thought about it. Think of all the DC movies. What's the, like, not all the DCEU movies. And what's some quotables?
I mean, I can't think of quotables off the top of my head right now anyway.
Martha! Like, that's their biggest one. Now you think of Iron Man. If I was telling you Iron Man and Captain America, and I was like, you take off that suit, what are you?
Oh, what, the billionaire philanthropist, whatever.
Exactly.
I don't know if that counts, though, because people just...
He's got, like, there's so many more things in there that, like, you remember, because their dialogue is so much better. And that's DC's biggest problem, I think, is they stick with these, like, corny tropes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was part of, what was his name? Who was the guy that was doing them before? But his, like, daughter died or tried to kill herself and he had to leave. The guy who was making the DC movies. He did Man of Steel.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
But he did 300. And then he, like, kind of writes everything like 300. Like, it's just, like, very, very serious. And, like,
yeah,
everything they're saying. These are comic books and superheroes. Like, you want to have a little fun. And I think this one did get that. Like, as far as, like, a superhero, he did deliver a lot more on that front than a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Wonder Woman did that as well. So I will give this that. Yeah, I hate you. You out here making me like this movie more than I thought at the end.
You know what I really liked about this movie? One of my favorite things about this movie was that people love to like bullshit Aquaman in arguments. Like, what is he gonna do? Talk to animals? And him talking to animals were like to in the beginning of the movie. It was super corny. I hated when he was in the aquarium and he was he got all the animals to like. I felt like that scene was useless. I hated that. But he only uses that ability 3 times in the movie. 4 times, excuse me. When he's at the aquarium, when he gets inside the whale.
I love that scene with the whale.
He's like us, like Pinocchio. Work for Pinocchio. I love that scene. Third, probably the most effective is when he talks to the beast that's in the other, like in the Earth's core, that's protecting the trident.
Yeah.
Because if he hadn't done that, he probably would have died. And pretty much everyone who tried to get the trident died because they couldn't talk to the motherfucker.
And then you find out that Atlanta could do that.
Yeah, Atlan was the only one who could ever talk.
Atlanta.
What is the thing's name? That's going to bug me now. I need to find out. I knew I recognized the fucking King Atlan. Or not King Atlan, the redheaded king.
Yeah, it's Dolph Lundgren.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Why do I recognize him?
Yeah.
I was super annoyed looking at him.
He sounds a lot different without his Russian accent, huh?
Yeah. I didn't know that they had twins playing young Arthur. Like
the little Arthur?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. I hated teenage Arthur. That nigga could not act for shit.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying.
Like, it was bad. I was like, William Dafoe, how are you acting with this guy? Like, I know he had to be sitting there like, my nigga. But you know where I think they missed the mark on this? I think they should have made all of Atlantis Pacific Islander.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because I think it would have just been dope.
It would have, but like then everybody would have gotten. They were like, "Oh, this is exactly what we were talking about." They made it all about race and blah blah blah. Blah. And like Aquaman's
I think it just
really
make more sense. I mean, I don't really know where Atlantis is, but it'd make more sense to me if like all the Pacific Islander niggas came from Atlantis.
Carathan. That's what it was called. It was played by Julie Andrews. Didn't know that. The thing that was guarding the trident.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
That's who Julie Andrews is, right? She was Mary Poppins. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it is Mary Poppins. What am I thinking as the older Amazonian lady? I don't know. Anyway.
I didn't know, yeah. That is kind of dope. Wait, she was the grandma in Princess Bride.
Yeah, you didn't know
or
that?
Not Princess Bride.
Princess Diaries, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that they use that when he's fighting the Carathan because, like, everybody died specifically because they couldn't talk to the motherfucker. And then she was like, you know what? You could talk to me. I'm going to give you a chance. And if you can't, I'm hungry, nigga. We eat out here.
So when he grabs the trident and then when he comes out with that suit on, you see like all those bubbles around him. You know what my first thought was?
I hope you're not talking about SpongeBob.
No, I was like, look at this fake ass Killmonger.
Oh my God.
My suit has bubbles. Killmonger out here with bubbles on his skin. He whack.
I'm pretty sure those were scales now that I'm thinking about it.
They were bubbles.
They're like really small scales.
On the suit, it's bubbles.
Oh my God.
They might be meant to be scales, but they were bubbles.
But I like that they showed his like power, like he gets a power up and they like don't make a big deal about it, but they do because they like show the trident like imparting the knowledge of the sea upon him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super dope.
That was pretty dope.
I like that he like came out riding the fucking Carathan, which I think is questionable because they specifically said that Atlan put the Carathan down there because he was afraid of it. And I'm just like, why was he afraid of it if he could talk to it? What did he do to piss off this thing? Or why was it being an asshole?
Maybe he talked to it and they worked things out.
Maybe. I mean, he did guard the Trident, and it didn't attack him while he guarded the Trident.
Yeah.
Although it probably was smart enough to not do that.
It was pretty dope when he could control everything.
Yeah, and when he came out, talking to the fucking sea animals again, fucking niggas up.
Yeah.
Y'all try to downplay the ability to talk to the sea animals, you're gonna get fucking mauled.
I mean, it doesn't really help. Like, if he came at me right here, I would be like,
If he came out at you right here, he'd still beat your ass.
He'd beat my ass with his hands, but I wouldn't be worried about his ability to talk to fish.
Not just fish. Nigga, the Karathan can walk on land.
No, he can only talk to aquatic animals.
But the Karathan can walk. It's got legs. It's like a giant crab octopus thing.
Nigga,
That thing would fuck up Bismarck.
Water to breathe.
We don't know that.
It's got tentacles. Nothing with tentacles can come onto land.
That's not true. Octopus can.
And can live?
They can go for a while without water. And
Exactly.
the Karathan is really fast moving.
I want to see that Karathan come out here.
Those
Come to North Dakota, Karathan. Freeze your ass off.
and fucking wipe your whole fucking apartment building off the block with one swipe.
It wouldn't even make it here. It'd
Bro.
freeze in Montana.
No, it wouldn't. Which coast do you think it's coming from?
Oh, it's coming from the East Coast? I don't know where that's coming from.
It doesn't matter where it's coming from. It's much colder at the bottom of the ocean than other places.
Oh, that is true. Damn. That is true. I didn't think about that one. No, it's not that cold. It's not as cold as here.
I think it is. I think the pressure is what makes it stop freezing.
I thought it was like
In the
Earth's core.
currents.
Like, wouldn't it be warmer because they're closer to the core?
Well, it depends on how deep you are.
I mean, they're pretty damn deep. You know, I don't know. Sometimes they're
No,
pretty
because in Aquaman, the Earth core is not molten.
Oh, yeah.
So
It was a volcano.
Yeah.
She did come from Earth's core.
Yep.
This movie had a lot of different places in it. You know what the best part of this whole movie, though, was? That Pitbull song.
Why'd you do that?
That song just made me sad hearing it.
I was so unhappy with it. You know what the worst thing about it is that like the week before we watched it, I heard people like, oh, Pitbull is remixing Africa. And I was like, you know what? Let's just see what he does with it. And I forgot about it. And then we watched this movie and I was like, fuck.
You know,
It annoys me because I enjoy Pitbull.
I don't.
And like, not all the time, but like, here and there, I enjoy Pitbull stuff. Like, people fucking hate Pitbull. I'm just like, it's not that bad. Like,
My views on Pitbull are like from Atlanta. They talk about there's this dude talking about Pitbull. Like the dude from the movie that shall not be named that we watched was like, "Yo, what's your problem with Pitbull? Moms need rap too." And I think that's the best way to describe Pitbull.
he's like the new Will Smith. He just wants to be happy. Everybody have a good time.
He's not the new Will Smith.
Yeah.
Don't you talk about Will Smith like that.
Except he cusses a little bit. And he speaks in another language.
Pitbull is a thug, bruh. Don't let the suits fool you. Pitbull will fuck you up.
I'd fight Pitbull. How big is Pitbull?
Pitbull won't fight you, bruh.
Pitbull is 5'7". I'll slam that.
Like I said, Pitbull will not fight you, bruh. First off, you won't even get the Pitbull. Pitbull will just send some nigga at you.
Nah. We said Pitbull. We didn't say some other nigga.
All right, Pitbull will just shoot you then.
That's exactly what I need to awaken my superpower.
You know, we've said a lot of nerdy things to each other before. I think that might be that's it right there. That's the topper.
Oh man.
But yeah, so Aquaman. What are you rating this one?
I say 3.8.
3.8?
Mm-hmm. Bumblebee would get more if they had not misled me. Because I'm giving this a 3.8 and I give Bumblebee like a 3.75.
Bumblebee misled you?
Yeah.
Bumblebee didn't mislead you. The critics misled you. Don't hurt Bumblebee for that.
Bumblebee hurt himself.
You think this is better than Bumblebee?
I feel like this was more exciting than Bumblebee. Like,
You know
Bumblebee
what?
was Bumblebee had better acting and better dialogue, but I think Bumblebee,
Bro, those fighting moves that Bumblebee was doing topped anything that happened in Aquaman.
I don't know, that fucking spinny staff shit he did at the end. We flipped that shit and then fucking tossed, like it fucking flew forward, hit that nigga. He jumped up, caught the shit, did a fucking flip over the nigga's head and broke his trident. That was
kind of dope. When he did start doing the spinning shit, I was like, he has awoken. Yes. Get him. And it's here.
Yeah, but and it might be because I was in a bad mood when we started watching Bumblebee. I was mad, because of the whole lost episode thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So maybe but I think I enjoyed Aquaman a little bit more.
That was kind of shitty, like, because we were in a bad mood and we knew we had to, like, do something, like, record right after Bumblebee.
Right. Also, I didn't dislike Black Manta as much as you did. I really didn't. Like, I don't really like that actor very much, but I don't think his story was that bad.
I think it was, like, basic. Which, I mean, I'm assuming that might be what it actually is in the comics.
It's not. His story is weird in the comics. I was looking it up before we...
Okay, well then, yeah, that's just super basic. You killed my father, and I will. I did like how he broke it down. He was like, I could have saved his dad, and now I've created an enemy.
Right.
I thought that was...
And that's the thing. Like, I like that because Black Manta is his arch nemesis.
Like I said...
He's given a reason for him to hate him.
When he actually talks, he has some dope lines. But everybody else around him was just kind of corny. Give Aquaman some more time to talk. If there's an Aquaman 2 and he just has like a shit ton of dialogue, that's gonna be the best DC movie.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody else said anything worthwhile in this whole movie.
But on the surface, we feel our tears.
That was so trash.
I hated that line.
That was so trash. But
their fucking Zoom in dialogue.
Okay, when I give this one my my score, I'm gonna zoom in with the mic.
I wish this was heavier and less air resistant. I would throw it at you.
I am going to give Aquaman a solid 3. Did it sound like a zoom? My headphones aren't working. Okay, Aquaman, I'm giving it a 3. I think it was okay.
Zooms don't have sound, so...
I mean... Zoom sound has a sound from the Flash.
Speedsters have sound in the Flash. He doesn't have a specific sound.
Zoom has a specific sound.
No, he doesn't.
He sounds like Jigsaw.
You haven't watched sound? No, get the fuck out of here.
But yeah, it's an okay movie. Yeah. If you haven't seen the other two... I mean, I guess, according to Droid, you should go see this before you go see Bumblebee. We should see Into the Spider-Verse first.
Always Into the Spider-Verse. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I think Bumblebee and Aquaman are pretty close to interchangeable. Personally.
There we go. This has been another episode of Movies for the People. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ___ for the people.
You can find me at droidwaller_.
And you can find me at sobase_ace.
You guys will probably have had a Merry Christmas by the time you hear this. But if not, figure your shit out. Why are you doing it so late?
Yeah, for real.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. We love you guys. happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Tuesday.
Dreaming of a white Christmas.
Just
Turn this
like-
shit off so we can go home.
Okay, I guess also.